Good morning from the Melbourne Central YHA in Melbourne, Australia. I am Josh.
And I'm Ashley.
And today we are exploring Melbourne for the first time.
So be sure to subscribe to our channel and give us a thumbs up for more videos. And let's go. We're in the cityscape. Somehow, we ended up on the rooftop. And this is what we woke up to, which is absolutely amazing. And our room is literally right here. Actually, YHA, they're hostels, but we want to show you guys how you can stay in a room with a family or as a couple. We aren't staying in a hostel, and we're not staying in bunk beds. They actually have a cute little room for us. This is it.
Oh.
We have a bed when you walk in, a TV. It's practically a hotel room. Really nice space over here where we can put our clothes, unpack our stuff.
Which we have done.
Yeah,
you can see it's
a
messy.
coffee station and a little refrigerator for us. Actually, better than some of the hotel rooms we've stayed in.
For sure.
And then our bathroom right here, which is nice and bright, a big shower, and a handy dandy blow dryer. I haven't used a blow dryer in months.
I feel like they just
so
didn't have them in Thailand when we were there.
No, yeah, but it was awesome. We're headed to a tour, but we'll show you a little bit around our YHA, and then we'll hit the road and see the city.
In the city center, there is a free tram service, and we just took that to the park that we are meeting at for the free tour. The tour has started, and first things first, we have learned a little bit about Melbourne history. Around 1850, 1851 is a little fuzzy on the exact date. Melbourne was called a city named after the Prime Minister of the UK at the time, so Lord Melbourne, separated from the state that Sydney was a part of, and then they discovered gold the next year. Pretty convenient, I think. All right, off to see the middle of the city.
Something that we're learning very quickly is that Melbourne is known for its laneways, or what we would call alleyways. Supposedly when the city was created, these were created specifically for trash and people to throw out things. Not really nice places. But the city is starting to create secret bars, fun little cafes, inside these alleyways. Plus, there's so much artwork in here, which is super cool. One noob thing that we've already done while here in this city is call it Melbourne. And that's a very American way of saying it, I guess. So from now on, we call it Melbourne, just like the locals. We're not trying to have an accent, but trying to say it properly. I guess we made that mistake.
Yeah, but isn't that just trying to have an accent? Because we would say Melbourne.
I guess, but they all call it, who live here, Melbourne.
All right.
I'm gonna call it that.
We're gonna call it Melbourne.
Yeah, Melbourne.
You got Melbourne.
Melbourne. We're gonna put on a little bit of an accent too.
Melbourne.
Don't judge us.
We have stopped off at one of the laneways at the Chapter Coffee House to get some coffee. Many people have told us, you guys especially in the comments have said we have to check out the coffee scene in Melbourne. Sorry, Melbourne. So we have. I've got a flat white, which is an Australian institution. It was literally invented here. Aside from you guys saying we have to try it, it's good to know that Australia is the coffee capital of the world in terms of coffee houses per capita. Right, so there's more coffee houses here than there is anywhere else in the world. It came from two things. First, in the 1800s during the gold rush, there was a huge, massive drinking problem, as you can imagine, with a 5,000 to 1 male to female ratio because of the influx of people trying to get gold. So they started a prohibition which limited the sales of alcohol to 6 p.m. You could not buy alcohol after 6 p.m. So between the times when people got off work and then 6 p.m. they rushed to get drunk. And then there was nothing to do for the rest of the day. So a bunch of places started serving coffee from the Italian immigrants that were around here, and it kind of became its own thing. And there you have it. Coffee, Melbourne, delicious. This area behind me is called Federation Square. We don't have time to go on the tour, but if you want to come and do a bunch of free stuff about the culture of Australia and the history of Melbourne and that sort of thing, a lot of free museums and exhibits and different things to do there. So, fun stop if you have a little extra time or you're not rushing through on a free tour like we are at the moment. The tour itself was pretty awesome, that we learned a ton about Melbourne.
So much.
But the thing is, like, it's so fast that it's really hard to like fully appreciate it. So we use free tours to get a quick lay of the land, so that we know what we want to check out a little bit later.
It is one of the things that we strongly suggest when you're in a brand new city. Go on a free walking tour.
First thing.
Yeah, it's just awesome to know where you're at, what you're doing, where you're going, where you want to go. We actually saw a few places that we want to head to next.
We're gonna grab some lunch, and then we have more to do for the rest of this video.
Our next touristic activity is going to be taking the loop on one of their little old-fashioned trams, the number 35. It's free in the city center and totally different from the rest of the trams, whereas it gives a tour of the city center while you're riding it. Very cool, and it's free. Popular thing to do. This train is packed.
I think he's talking. It seems more like information about when businesses are open and closed rather than historical information.
It's hard to tell because it's super quiet. I wouldn't necessarily go out of my way to ride on this tram.
At least not within the first 5 minutes experience.
Yeah. But it is cute. It was like old-fashioned cute.
We'll keep you posted.
Yeah.
Either way, free trams. Well, that was the tram. A bit underwhelming, but it was nice. Again, it's a free tram. The speaker wasn't really loud enough, and the information wasn't quite as information-y as we wanted. It was more like practical information as opposed to like telling tales of the history and the tall tales. Like, it wasn't that.
But it was cute.
Yes, it was cute.
And it was free. We didn't have to pay for it.
There you go. And it got us closer to the next place we want to go, which is the connection to another tram that gets us
to the Penguins.
Yeah, I was gonna like lay it out a little.
So excited.
But yes, penguins. Okay. We took the tram about 40 minutes outside of the city center of Melbourne, and we're in an area or a neighborhood called St. Kilda, and supposedly there's about 1,200 little penguins that live on this coastline in the rocks, and after swimming all day in the water getting fish, they come home at dusk, which is when we came here, to rest and go into their little homes. So fingers crossed, this is like one of my most exciting things I've been looking forward to, and hopefully it lives up to expectations. My expectations are pretty high. Supposedly there are people there who work for the city, and they're supposed to be able to tell you about these penguins and everything. Oh, cool.
Yeah, so fingers crossed, another fun free thing to do in the city of Melbourne.
The only thing about this experience that isn't free is the metro ride down here. Yes, within the city limits it's free, but after a certain point they say you need to tap your MyKey card to continue paying. So we have a MyKey card. This was actually given to us by our friend yesterday, Pete, who picked us up from the airport, so thank you, Pete. But if you need to get one of your own, you can get them at 7-Eleven or probably other places, I'm sure. This little guy, tap it, and then you pay. It would seem we're not the only ones with the idea to come check it out. There's probably a good 500 people here minimum.
And not one penguin yet.
Dusk. It's almost dusk. As you can see, it got really dark in here. It's super hard to see the penguins, but they're all coming up like one by one, and they walk across the beach and then they go to the rocks behind us and they climb up in there. Super, super hard to film it, but we can see it just enough with our own eyes where it's adorable. I can't even see you anymore.
I know. It's getting real dark.
Yeah.
You have to come here to see this, guys. It's awesome.
Trust me.
Yeah, trust me.
We're just walking along the pier to go back, and there's a massive stingray out there. Not sure if you can see it, but there it is. That thing is huge.
So cool. That's totally like what Nemo rides on. Nemo?
Yeah.
Yeah. You could ride on that thing. It's giant.
Yeah.
I feel like you stand on it and surf. That was really cool. What a crazy experience. I didn't expect. Another thing that I've been really wanting to do while here in Melbourne is go to this little theme park behind me. It's called Luna Park. It's been here since 1912.
Whoa.
So that makes it super old. And I'm really excited to go in. Supposedly it's free to go in and you just pay for the rides you want to ride. And I have a ride in mind.
Oh?
Yes. We asked the girl at the counter about the entry. She said it is $5 per person to come in if you don't want to get a ride ticket. But if you walk around and then you're convinced to get a ride ticket, then they'll put that $5 towards your $10 ride ticket for a single ride, which is what we got because we're going on a roller coaster. My ride of choice is the Scenic Railway. Supposedly this is the longest operating roller coaster in the whole world. It's a wooden roller coaster and there's a guy literally on the little cars with you.
Standing up.
Yeah, I just saw him, I couldn't believe it. He's standing up, like practically surfing on this roller coaster and he's the brake master. So when you're going too fast down a hill, he's gonna brake us. So I'm gonna pay him like 20 Australian bucks to never brake and we'll just like go really fast.
And die on the wooden coaster?
Hopefully that's not what's gonna happen. Yeah. But I'm really excited. The oldest in the world. This is supposed to be the oldest in the world. It made it through World War I and we're gonna go ride it right now. They took our camera away. We're not allowed to bring it on the ride.
I'm surprised she has this one now.
We're locked and loaded. We're in. A long day, but for our last stop, we're gonna get you hyped for our next video tomorrow because we are going to check out a bunch of hidden bars here in Melbourne. It's a thing here and we're really excited to show you guys those, but they're gonna be in the laneways. And this hidden bar that we found here is a little bit outside of the city. It's inside a sub shop. You have to go through the fridge to find the bar. The bar is called Jungle Boy. So they're supposed to have some fun cocktails and stuff. You have no idea from the outside of this that there's a bar in the back. We've made it back to our cozy Melbourne Central YHA, but I did want to say that little unassuming sub shop got so busy after we got there. When we were leaving, there was a huge line outside of it. So make sure to go there a little bit early to get your drinks, and the cocktails looked amazing.
That is our first full day in Australia. We did a ton of stuff. We covered as much of Melbourne as we possibly could for you guys in one day. We were up at 9 and we got home past 10. So
yeah.
I feel like we did a pretty decent job of covering it all. Tomorrow, however, in our next video, we're going to be sharing with you more about the hidden bars of Melbourne, something that we are super interested in, and you as patrons voted on us to do. So thank you guys for suggesting something for us to do that we really want to do. We're happy to share it, and we cannot wait to show the video to you guys in the next one. Way fam, I hope we encouraged you to gather and travel today. Come to Melbourne, and we'll see you in the next video.
Bye.
Bye. A huge shout out to all of our patrons who helped make this video possible. If you want to follow more, go to Instagram at WayAwayMag. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and don't forget to check out our second channel, Way More, if you want to see way more from us.